Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Aging Games. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of frequency devices, and I truly believe that frequency healing will be the medicine of the future. Now, I have this amazing little device that I've been using for over a year from Infopathy, my IC Glow Pad, and it has brought me incredible results with our family, our dogs, my husband's allergies. I have so many stories to share with you guys. So I might do that within this episode, or I might do a separate episode completely. And today I have the absolute pleasure of interviewing the founder of Infopathy. Anton Fedorenko is with us, and he's going to explain to us how all this works magically and how he founded Infopathy and how frequency devices can help make your life a little bit better as well. Anton, welcome to the Aging Games. Thank you so much for being here today. Can you introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Helena. Thank you very much for inviting me for your podcast. I'm happy to talk to you about what we were working on. So my name is Anton. I overall was studying radiophysics and physics, mathematics in my universities. Then I became interested in biophysics, and I got into contact with a group of people who were studying water, its unusual properties. So that's how I kind of got sucked into um, all this world about water at the water conference. And since then, it's almost like 13 years now. I have been working with water, and then it's pretty much brought me to the water frequencies and everything related to frequencies, exposure, like biological organisms to different EMF, acoustic waves, etc. And eventually it all formed into the Infopathy project. It's a database and technology which allows you to use frequencies for yourself. And we have some other like side projects for research, like AquaSci, where we study water and consciousness, how it's possible to affect water with consciousness using scientific methods.
Hmm. Is
Yep.
that similar to what Vera Austin is doing?
Um,
Have you heard of her?
yeah, I
The
heard
same
about
thing?
some. Yeah, some people mentioned her that it's a similar thing. I think yeah, it's what was Dr. Asam Masarimoto was doing.
Yes.
He was exposing water and like rising the water to the thoughts, prayers, emotions. So similar to that, but I would say a little bit further in some other like directions in there. That's where you can do it like remotely,
Ah,
how people can affect water sample. And it's important that the water sample actually been measured but by very precise sensor. So you
mhm.
can see what was happening like a few hours before you start doing this effect, and then when you start doing effect. Yeah.
So that's
And
going to be, is that going to be a new device or
no,
new
it's
app?
right. I mean, right now, yeah, it's more like for research. We're fascinated how it's possible that people can affect something at a distance.
Mhm.
Just looking at a picture of some object, it involves such a phenomenon as quantum entanglement.
Mhm.
Like, kind of like nobody knows how it works exactly. People
Yeah.
just create some terms and definitions like quantum entanglement. Or I created a picture of the water. It's quantum entangled into water. It's
Mhm.
like sometimes when you say quantum, it's like doesn't mean anything like actual like
Yes.
quantum physics,
Yes,
but
of course.
it just sounds cool in a way.
It does,
So
yeah.
people use their quantum entanglement. Yeah, something happened to the picture of water, and when we focus our attention, it's possible to affect. It's not possible for everyone. It's not possible to measure it every time.
Mhm.
But if you like run experiment for 30 times, you can statistically see whether you are the person able to do this. We did also a lot of group experiments where like 100 people at the same time focus their attention to the water sample,
Mhm.
and it seems to work like worse than
Oh
if you do
yeah,
it
worse than when it's
individually.
one person
Yeah,
concentrating.
I mean, it depends. Yeah, it seems it depends how well people synchronized. But if it's just a group of people from internet, they don't know each other, technique which used maybe didn't synchronize it well. Um, so it usually will results like will no effect. And it seems, yeah, like
That's very
in some
interesting.
way,
And
yeah.
is this something that anybody can do?
Yes,
Yes.
anybody can go to aquaside.com. It's
Mhm.
aquaside.com, and we have right now sensor running like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can go and schedule it. It's everything free there. You can schedule the sensor. It will book 2 hours window before and after your sessions. Nobody can use it at the same time.
Huh?
In the sensor, we use distilled water, which pretty much can be relaxed after any influence within 2 hours. So we found that window 2 hours for distilled water works, and you will have 30-minute session to do something to water. Sometimes you can like get really high score, and first of all, like we also notice when people comes without like any expectations, it seems that their first experiments will go really well.
Wow, that is
You can
good.
see the
I'm
graph.
definitely
Yeah,
going to try this. This is very exciting. I had
yeah,
no
yeah,
idea you guys were
yeah,
doing this.
yeah, and but still, it's possible sometimes because we can see there's days when nobody like using device, and we can see that even when nobody using device, water can spike at some moments because we even if it's in the lab stays and isolated from like everybody, you cannot like isolate from like cosmic events,
Mhm.
um, all the particles that going through the earth, something happening, I don't know, in neighborhood maybe, or
Yeah.
something can trigger effect. It is like in our partner's lab in Germany, they had one coworker which could come into the room with the computers, and those computers will like stop working. And they notice it wasn't even coincidence. It happens like few times.
Wow.
So it's a project about not about how water can change its properties because it's like easy to see with that device, electroimpedance spectrometer. You can expose water to like low frequencies, magnetic waves. It's right away you can see the change, what's happening with water, like physical change. You don't know what biological changes, but I mean, what changes happen to water in biological way, how it will affect if you put the bacteria or something like this. But in general, physically, things change like very easily when you expose water to light, EMF, magnetic waves, electric fields, etc. Yeah, and this project is about also human like possibilities, that we not just like meat on bones, and that we have some like generators inside that we emit magnetic waves, electromagnetic waves. I mean, in some way, it's like very obvious that our body is electric. It's
Mhm.
not just dead meat or
Absolutely.
dead rock. Yeah, it has so many impulses, a lot of things being controlled by electricity in our body. Yeah, it's like in some way like a biorobot, like biomechanical electric machine, our body.
Fascinating, isn't it? I just started studying quantum biology with the Institute of Applied Quantum Biology.
Hmm.
And I've been working with frequency devices for about 10 years now. I have all kinds of different, the big ones like from the biocharger to smaller
Hmm.
devices. And when I came across Infopathy, I mean, it's small, it's simple. You can have it with me. You can travel. I have the IC Glow Pad.
Hmm.
And I mean, instantly we saw such amazing results. For example, my husband has had the worst allergies for 10 years. So from April to June, he cannot leave the house. So that was the first test. And we got
Hmm.
it last year just before allergy season started. And we started using it for him, and he had zero allergy symptoms.
That's
I
cool. Yeah.
mean, that's incredible. Like there's nothing. I'm also a naturopath, so I've tried everything, herbs and supplements, vitamins, everything, and
Hmm.
nothing worked for him. And this, I put it on him every day with the allergy program. Nothing, zero symptoms. So we were like, okay, this is
That's
doing
amazing. Yeah.
something, right? Because at first you're a little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
skeptical. Okay, do I need another gadget, another device, blah, blah, blah. And some
Hmm.
work, some don't work as well, right? But this was absolutely mind blowing. And then for other things like for burns or headaches, I suffer from trigeminal neuralgia, which is a horrible, painful condition.
Hmm.
And as soon as I feel it coming on, I put the glow pad on my face, stops it instantly. So with
Hmm.
acute pain, with acute conditions, I have seen instant remarkable results. And then with things like this, like with allergies, and we put it on our dogs every day. We're
Hmm.
making the water. I've got it here. It should be in the
Hmm.
bag, but I have the water. I have your bottle here. So, I mean, tell us, like, tell the people that are new to this, who have not heard
Hmm.
about Infopathy before, and the different devices that you have. I'm really only familiar
Yeah.
with that. I know you have other ones
Hmm.
as well. Tell us a little bit about how it works, how you came to,
Hmm.
develop this, and
Hmm.
tell us a bit more about this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. In general, yeah, it's been like a long path. Since I joined, initially it was people who. So I was like student of Moscow Institute of Physics and Technology, like really strict, in the way how you think. It's like those things. When I then later become like part of the project and would tell like other students about this project, it was the toughest like crowd, to explain how it's possible. And I was trying to think in a way how it's like possible, because it actually was a little bit different technology at the time. It was more about imprinting like a secondary medium, like the stickers and people like experiment with, or
Yes.
it actually was a compact discs, because it also have layer of plastic and aluminum and some other layers, so it's creates kind of a capacitor. And we were studying, experimenting a lot of with practitioners in the labs. When you like imprint discs, then you expose water to the on the disc, like what happens? And yeah, it was impossible. There were like national TV making video how it's like complete like crazy stuff, bringing some scientists, or let's say like they show them, okay, they did this, they imprinted disc, and what happens? And the guy like, absolutely nothing happened to the disc, like on the national TV show and this stuff. And yeah, like we were like mostly focused on the research and development, but we still had like website for people to try, etc. And the team I worked with, they were a little bit more like from the some of the scientists, but the main person was more like from the business area. So he would be like pushing, like, okay, let's do this, let's kind of push it to the market now. And I think it was like issue because of that. It wasn't ready, kind of raw product. Like one day they made instructional video how to use it, and one day I woke up because my phone got so many notifications, and it was like more than 10 years ago. Notifications on the phone was something like not very popular. Yeah, it was the video on YouTube. It just like got like 30 or 50,000 views in a day, which before it had maybe 50 views. People like also like skeptical. They don't, what is this? It's some kind of like weird stuff, etc. My like YouTube account got blocked for this, etc. So it
Wow.
has its yeah, I think it was like too early for people to, I mean, in Russia, the time I was, to like accept it and try it. So then for a few years, team was kind of going back and forward. The person would be like organizing water conference and mostly focusing on the like breaking, like developing community of the Jared Pollack's conference of the physics, biology, and chemistry of water. We also met a lot of people, what they're doing to learn what they're doing in this area, like Luc Montagnier, who did this like amazing experiments. And his technology was different. His technology was more understood. It wasn't like imprinting like compact discs, etc. It was like about and like transfer. Yeah, their problem was transferring the distance, because they didn't use a digital approach, something else. And like after some time, realized that no, we need to go in something like more reliable and reduce the number of like mediators. So why do you need to do this on the disk and then do it to the water? Because you don't know what's going to happen to the disk. It's always exposed to some EMF surrounding you, lights, etc. So we then developed kind of like pretty much team broke into different directions, different teams. And in 2017, I came to Canada. So like, he finished my university. And here with my wife, whom I met at water conference
Oh,
in
yeah.
Bulgaria in 2014. Yeah, she was like, she not from this area as well, not from, memory of water or anything. She is like analytical chemist from U of T. And she was seeing the conference. She's like, okay, some like research I understand is like interesting, legit, but something people like more like spiritual, etc., is like not sure. But yeah, when we also that time got married, uh, when I came to Toronto, I was even not sure what I'm gonna do because project was in this like hanging state, whether it goes like to nowhere or we're gonna do something. At the same time, I was doing the psychological project in Moscow, recycling plastics. I was very passionate about it for almost like 4 years because they don't have separate waste collection. Everything goes to landfill. So we built the system in the city with the containers, etc. Yeah, so I thought maybe I'm gonna do something related to garbage in Toronto, but here things like a little bit better
It's all
with
sorted
this,
there.
and yeah, a little bit like sorted out. With people like don't know where it's going here in Toronto. Everybody thinks
Probably all
it's
going to the same
also yeah,
place.
it's still going to like landfill, but we sorted
Yeah.
before. Yeah, the big problem too. Yeah, so when I came, it was like very big coincidence. I came like I remember August 10, and I think day before that, I had this like a little small website where people would maybe sign up for a newsletter to learn about the project, what things going. It had only one IC for diabetes, so I was like, we had like good results in research for that, and
Why did you start with diabetes?
we actually had about 60 different ICs that time of different pharmaceutical things, and the IC of diabetes, I wanted to focus because people can somewhat easily to see their like response. Everybody they can measure blood sugar in their home, so they can see whether it helped or not. Plus, people okay to share their results. It's not something like very intimate, to share about diabetes, and a lot of people have it. It's like big problem. So yeah, and we had experiment with a group of 6 people for 1.5 years. They reduced their weight, blood sugar levels, like many other parameters. So yeah, we had this like a small website where you can just use that single IC. So and then when I came to Toronto, one day before that, somebody like signed up for a newsletter, and it didn't happen often. It's maybe like one person a month will sign up for newsletter. And if it's not gmail.com or something, it has some like domain name, like something like unique. I would go and like look who is this person, like, what is their company doing or
Yeah.
something. And it's turned out this person, Paul McDonald, he signed up for newsletter. He was from Toronto. Like such was a coincidence. And he was a practitioner. So like a few weeks later we meet and he tell him that he like knew about our project for some time. He was using similar technology with his patients. He has many patients. They will be interested to like participate in like trying this thing and providing feedback, etc. So I got very excited because like somebody needed, and we restarted the project with like no expectations, pretty much, because we don't know. Like we had results with practitioners, etc. There are some people using on their own, but you don't know how it's gonna live in the real world with like real kind of patients who have like variety of issues, etc. Yeah, and in that time, yeah, we started. I got a lot of time on my hands because I moved out from my all other projects, and said I had a lot of already ideas, but I didn't know how to program, so I just went and did the course on programming, and that's when things started. Starting building IC platform. That time it called IC platform website,
So you built that
and
yourself.
yeah, I was like very interested in programming. I had a little bit of programming in university, but I never like knew how to like build something. But it was so like cool, fascinating because it's very fast. You can do something and you can already see results of like programming. Yeah, so I became very interested in that. Plus, when people using it, providing you feedback, that what pretty much was driving the project. So first year we just maybe like 50 people from this practitioner that would be using it. We were doing these devices like in the basement, like very simple. It's the main idea of the device. If you create a coil, wire coil, and you run an electric current through the coil, it will emit magnetic waves. So this is simple EMF coil. Then yeah, we use computer. It has this audio output. You connect. So it was pretty simple device, but it worked. Later, it became a circuit ICPAT, that device, and we were like trying ways how to make it more efficient, building more signals. That practitioner was helping because his patient will bring him some like medications or supplements or something. So in this way, like a crowdsourcing, building the whole platform. And yeah, the main thing we always like, oh, will it like still work? Will it not work? In terms of technology, in terms of business, etc. So we like over time things became more confident, more feedback, positive feedback, negative feedback, like what to improve, what things work,
What were some
different
of the issues
methods.
in the beginning that you guys needed to iron out?
Hmm?
What were some of the issues that you guys needed to work out in the beginning?
Yeah, like at the beginning, it's mostly was, I mean, from point of website things.
Or
I mean, mostly
technical
most like
stuff?
technical
Mhm.
issues with the device as well. Right now, we have like Globe at 3. First one, it also was just made. I would be going to like craft stores, buying like resin and some
Well,
like some like tools. Yeah, it's almost it would look like I'm making like cookies. I had a trace this egg shape, for making eggs
yeah.
on the pan. Yeah, so I'll fill up with resin, which become harder. You put like different herbs inside to make it nicer. Plus, when magnetic waves go through some substance or through something, so you have like emitter, then some substance, and then water. This magnetic wave passes the substance. It picks up, getting modulated by the substance, and when water exposed to this is how you do the local imprinting. If someone have a pill, we don't have it maybe on Infopathy or something, you can crush pill, put it in the Ziploc bag, put it on top of the IC pad, and then put water on top, and just run Schumann resonance for 5 minutes, and you will imprint the content of your pill into the water.
Oh, I did not know that. So you can do that with
Yeah,
basically any kind of medication or supplement.
yeah. Anything, yeah, anything. Some people like do even crystals, minerals, like anything.
And you always use the Schumann resonance program.
Yeah, it's just a like a general kind of carrier wave in
Mhm.
the way, so it's passes it and
That's
getting
very good. So
modulated by
even
the
could it work for
substance.
something like, for example, antibiotics? Because a lot of people are cautious about taking antibiotics,
Hmm.
rightfully so. So
Yeah.
rather than taking the antibiotics, could you possibly input that into the water and take that
Hmm.
and then not have the ill effects of the antibiotics of destroying the good
Yeah, it's
bacteria
the
as well?
same thing applies when you do like locally with your own substance, or whether it's through the digital. Locally might be even like better quality you'll get if you have some you cannot have like 1,000 like different medications. That's why we have a database. But yeah, locally, because it's like you have digital way, when you digitize something, you may lose a little bit of like some range of spectrum.
Mhm.
When you do it locally, you pretty much, if you compare digital audio with analog audio, that's where the like difference in quality. But yeah, you can do it with anything that you have at home,
That's really
this
cool.
method.
And I saw that you can also like input these frequencies, for example, into like a lotion or a cream or something that you're
Hmm.
using.
Yes, oil. Yeah, there's many things people like try and all thing for plastic besides just being like, okay, this is product and that's it, what it can do. It's also platform and community of people who experiment with many different things. All our methods mostly studied with water, and this is like number one thing is like official instructions will have water,
Yes.
and you can also try other things. And people try and yeah, other things like oils, creams.
So
Yeah.
you can input, for example, like into a cream, like an anti-aging program or a wrinkles
Hmm.
program or
Yeah.
psoriasis or whatever
Hmm.
issues you might be having. And how
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
will that charge remain? I think it holds it
Yeah.
longer than water, right?
Yes. For 30 days, even like water theoretically can last for longer. There's few different types. in a way waters. So one is just mineral water, then you can drink right away. And you can also make a saline solution with water plus mineral salt. So by adding salt and mineral salt, you actually need to add like Himalayan salt, sea salt.
That's what I add.
Yeah, you make this saline last longer. And
Yes.
theoretically, things can last for years. And maybe some people will hear, oh, this product it can last for years. But our method we recommend just for 30 days because it can expose again to different things, temperature fluctuations, EMF, or
Wi-Fi. That's
other
why you
house.
guys have this sleeve to protect the bottle.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it
yeah. This is
protects the
for
bottle
additional
from
protection.
EMF. Yes.
Yeah.
This is
If
a
you live
great
like in the
idea.
house, yeah, if you live in the house, it's maybe not a big deal. But if you live in the condo, like you can see how much like Wi-Fi you can find from your neighbors. It's maybe like 30 or 40.
Yeah.
So you live in very exposed.
Now, as far as water, I know distilled water is not good. It needs to have some kind of minerals in it,
Mhm.
right? What
Yeah.
about like if you're using a water filter, like a reverse osmosis system, that
Mhm.
also
Yeah,
takes out a lot of
yeah.
minerals.
So like technically, if you like used to drink distilled water, like in my school, they always say like never drink like distilled water. Like, and I thought like, and they actually say if you like drink it, you're gonna die right away.
Wow.
In my school when I was learning. Yeah, but some people like message me and saying, "How come you cannot drink distilled water?" My mom, my grandmom, myself, I always drink pure distilled water. People use, for technical purposes usually, and they feel okay, etc. So, when somebody tells you, yes, the whole like few generations drink distilled water, so then you think, okay, if they drink, they didn't die, maybe it's good for them. Then, and you can use distilled water. It's not going to hold imprint for long. It's best to drink it right after imprinting.
Mhm.
So it can last maybe for 2 hours or so, but it will be like going down. That imprinted water, you need to drink it right away if you really need to drink distilled water. Similar with reverse osmosis water, need to drink it right away, or you can remineralize it by adding pinch of salt,
Yeah.
Himalayan salt, sea salt, into 1 liter of water.
And
So
then the
that's kind of,
charge will hold longer, correct?
yeah, also for those one will go for 3 days.
And you
Again, it
also
can
say
last for
to
longer.
shake the bottle, right?
Yeah,
Before you
before
input it.
before you imprint it,
Why
you don't
is
need to shake it
the
after.
shaking so important?
Yeah, so shaking, exposing it to the magnetic field, to infrared light, having it in the glass container increases the exclusion zone water in the like gel-like water in the water. So, and that one is kind of also responsible for imprint storage. So it's good to shake it. And if some people have some structuring devices, water structuring device, they can structure water first and
Mhm.
then imprint it.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
once
ask
you
you
imprint
about that
water,
because I do have that. I
yeah,
have like a Somavedic that can also structure water. I have that wand
hmm
that also structures
hmm
water. So would you
yeah,
do that first and then imprint
yeah.
the remedy afterwards? That would be the
Yeah,
correct
like
order, right?
imprinting in some way, like if it's a fragile thing. So we need to do imprinting as a last step and then
Okay.
drink it. Yeah. So
And then
once you
drink.
imprint it, like don't do any other tricks to
Okay,
water.
now, if, for example, I have two dogs and one is older, she's going to be 16 and she has all kinds of health issues. So I'm imprinting water for her all the time. But the puppy is also drinking from the same bowl. So if they're both
hmm
drinking the same water, can like I would just assume that the energies will go to the older dog as she needs it, but that it's not going to
hmm
harm the younger dog. It's just going to
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, also at the beginning of our project, before we like decided to go in the way like live, let people use it and experiment with it. We had already a lot of experiments with practitioners who did medical observation studies with their patients. And number one question was whether it can do harm to people. Yeah, I see from antibiotics or like any other pharmaceuticals, because initially we worked only with like almost only in pharmaceuticals, which had a lot of side effects on its
yes.
own. So we would be watching whether people would have same or like similar side effects. And
Mhm.
our like answer was no. These things doesn't do side effects, and it's safe to use. And if your body doesn't need it, there will be no reaction at all. I mean, there are different explanations why it's not causing any side effects. I mean, one of the thing why pharmaceutical causal effects, it's targeting different organ and it can target it for quite some time. It can build up in the body, the liver, other organs, tissues, and if it stays in your body, it keep like sending that signal to the body to do something. Imprinted water, it doesn't stay in the body for a long time. It's also related to the temperature of the body. On like our estimations, about like 5 to 15 minutes, it can stay in your body. It's also that's why you have to best to drink it on empty stomach, because in
Okay.
this way it's getting into the bloodstream like much faster. It's pretty much 5 minutes in the water in the bloodstream and can do the effect. If you ate something, if something heavy, it can take like 1 or 2 hours to water to get. So that water can affect you while it's going down into your stomach and in your mouth. Yeah, if you just ate, or actually anytime, it's a good idea to hold water for 10 seconds in your mouth before swallowing.
So kind
So
of like
yeah.
homeopathy, right?
hmm Yeah, yeah, it
Does
has
it work
a
along
lot of
the similar
similarities.
lines as homeopathy would?
It has a lot of similarities, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because in some way, homeopathy, when you do dilutions, so you transfer that imprint kind of like in the physical way, from substance to water, then you do dilutions, slowly remove substance, and then have more um, water and less substance. So just eventually just have imprinted water, pretty
Yes, which
much.
is actually
Or
stronger because the more you dilute it, the stronger the remedy
Mhm.
becomes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And in imprinting, yeah, it's similar, but the same like done something like different. So, for example, if you record from high dilution, we'll have IC of high dilution, so signal of high dilution. You cannot like I don't know in the way like dilute the signal, digital thing. So once you have already the recording ready, you cannot like from recording create like high dilution or something like this. So you just need to. I mean, it's about like process of making. It's not about how people like use it. Yeah, but yeah, there are also studies showing that signal recorded from high dilutions will work as a high dilution. From low dilutions will work as a low dilution. Okay. So it's yeah, have a lot of similarities. Yeah, going back to dogs. Yeah, if one dog will get what it needs, another dog it may also pick up something the body needs, but it will not cause any negative effect if they drink from the same
That I
bowl.
was a little bit worried about
Yeah.
that, but I was pretty sure that was going to be your answer. So that's really great to know. And I mean, really animals, because with humans you can always
Mhm.
say, oh, it's the placebo effect, right? They always
Mhm.
people say, oh, it's just placebo, which is also very
Yeah,
powerful,
which is
of
also
course.
yes,
Yeah, exactly.
very
But
big question. Yeah.
with animals, you can't really say it's the placebo because when it works for an animal, the animal doesn't know what's happening,
Mhm.
right? So it
Yes,
is
exactly.
actually the
Yeah,
device
yeah.
that's helping. Now,
Yeah, that's why
so
we had experiments that before we like started to do like studies with people, with
yeah.
practitioners. They were like animals, mice, mostly, and plants, like growing the germination of some seeds, wheat, some salad seeds, other things. Yeah.
So gardeners can use
Yeah,
this.
there is like actually like some theory that I was kind of thinking about, because we have like another project where a person can affect water.
Mhm.
So yeah, there is some like a loophole kind of thinking. It's maybe not water like affecting the person, but like you as an agent who creates the water, you imprint it.
Mhm.
So and then you give it to your dog. So maybe it's not water affecting the dog, but maybe you affecting
Yeah,
your dog, or
yeah.
you affecting the plant, like like experimentator, etc. So yeah, there
Well, you're
is. I
putting
think
like
we open
you
to different.
experiment, you're putting your intention into the water, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. We're like, yeah, we're open to like any different theories. We're not like, oh no, it's like do it work in this way. Yeah, because sometimes I see like people, so like they have their own technology method. They're very like, I don't know, in some way like become overconfident of things that they know how things like work, and yeah, it's like this, but like you don't know, like
No, it's
it's
good if you guys stay humble because we don't really, I mean, we try to understand this, but it's such mind-blowing stuff that it's really hard to
yeah,
understand, right?
yeah,
With our normal minds and the way we've been programmed and how things work in the physical world.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
something.
There is so many mysteries.
Yeah,
Like I don't
absolutely.
know, like I
Anton, now
believe.
now with the different
Mhm.
ICs that you guys have, can anybody upload different ICs or is it only you guys doing it?
So right now it's pretty much upload on the platform. Only we can do that. So we have a few types of ICs. Some of them imprint. Those ones we record from substances, herbs, supplements, minerals, all the things from
Can you walk
real
us through the process of
products.
that? How you do that? Like you would take
Yeah, can do general. Like, yeah, we use similar method developed by Jacques Benveniste and Luc Montagnier. So Luc Montagnier, that's very famous Nobel laureate who was studying viruses and in general knows things about DNA, how DNA can be synthesized on pathogenic bacteria, etc. So he did very precise experiments and technique of recording the signal. It was based on Jacques Benveniste, who started all this thing with memory of water almost 40 years ago. And yeah, and so main thing what you do is analogy would be with making a picture of the substance. So if you make picture, what happens? If you go to the dark room, you make a picture without flashlight, you get no information. It's dark. Then if you have like flashlight is electromagnetic waves. Like if somebody doesn't know, like light is EMF. Like just some people like very scared of this like term, but some people like love sun, etc. But sun is also its big nuclear reactor. It's all EMF, just it has very different like spectrum, like regions. So when you have flashlight, light hits some objects. The materials, atoms, molecules of this object, they absorb this EMF and re-emit. And they were emitted in different colors. You can see black color, white, green, yellow, like different colors. It's based on the wavelength. Something get absorbed, something gets reflected back to us, and then this wave propagates back to our camera, gets fixated. It can read different wavelengths, so that's how we get information about something like visible. Can you see with our eyes? We can see with the cameras. When we record signal from substance, we it's kind of similar approach but different. So that's called like spectroscopy. You can see what spectrum your substance have. It can be different regions, so it can be this visible light where you can see like you use light source, and then you can see what colors your substance have. And what we use low frequency from 0 to 20 kilohertz. So it's also called like sound frequencies, but some people also confuse, when you talk about sound frequency, they also think it's like EMF, but frequency is just attribute of of anything. Some baby on the swing, moves at particular frequency, but it doesn't mean that swing makes EMF. Frequency just how often something like happens. So acoustic waves have their own frequency of oscillations in the air, how like air oscillates, and light has own frequency, like low frequencies, like from 0 to 20 kilohertz. Also magnetic waves or electromagnetic waves. So what we do, we expose water to water with diluted substance to white noise, pass through pretty much this white noise through the water. On other side, we capture the resulting signal. The water with substance modify this white noise. We capture the signal. Everything happens in the like metal chambers, no other interferences from outside. Then the signal getting amplified and digitized. We do like additional processing to remove some noises, etc. And then we have like digital signals. In a way, also it's like recording sound with microphone, but again, it's not sound, it's not light, it's like low frequency magnetic waves, which we capture from the substance. Yeah,
That's super interesting. I had no idea how it worked. Now you have like three delivery systems basically. You have the audio that people can listen to. This you would listen with a headphone, right? But it should work without a headphone as well, right?
Yeah, you can just use it with speakers.
Yeah, because I have it usually running on my computer during the day while I'm working. And then you have the imprint into the water that we already talked about. And then the third delivery method is when you are using for example, the IC glow pad, you're using it directly on your body. Now this you can use like if you have pain in a certain area of the body, you would put it to that. Or if you want to improve your digestion, you would put it on your abdomen, for example, right? And
Yeah.
or you can just run like general programs. I usually put it here for general programs. Now, what is the difference between the three? And as far as effectiveness or delivery method?
Yeah. Yeah, overall, they're created in a different way. Everything was starting with just imprint IC signals recorded from pharmaceutical medications of minerals, etc. And later, because our system was pretty much suitable for other types of signal, like PMFs, it's a pulsed electromagnetic fields. Yeah, it's also just a signal. I mean, signal can have different forms, different combination of frequencies, etc. When we use signal from substance, it's a wide spectrum signal. PMF, they're usually sets of particular frequencies. We don't record them from anything. It just, in a way, like synthesized by us signal. So, for example, initially 100 hertz for 5 minutes, then 200 hertz for like another 5 minutes, etc. There are different protocols, like if somebody heard Rife protocols, frequency microcurrent protocols for treatment. So those ones how PMF made. And yes, their best way of application is applied directly to the body. Also, community was experimenting. Well, what happened if you imprint that PMF into water, those frequencies, into creams? There was one practitioner who has clients had issues with their knees, and they imprinted in just a regular body cream, and it was working in this way. So that it
So you
didn't
can
make
kind of mix and
sense.
match, like you can put the PMF into the water and then the IC also on the body.
Mhm. Yeah. Yes, you can also put a regular imprint IC directly in the body. And that's what like recently we've been working on with new glow pad. We make it more suitable for those kind of applications because previous one was a little bit weaker. It was okay for imprinting the water, but applying imprint IC directly to the body wasn't like as effective because we also have skin. Skin, if it's well hydrated, it shields the EMF signal. Yeah, so it's kind of a good thing as well if somebody like
Yeah.
scared about EMF. I mean, it still goes through, but at least 50% of intensity going to be shielded if you're well hydrated.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting. What about the different
yeah,
colors on the glow pad? Because there's
hmm
red light, there's blue
yeah,
light, there's the
yeah.
infrared, right?
Yeah, initially we had only blue light, which is good for water imprinting, and because the whole thing was about water imprinting.
Yes.
Yeah, but then with new applications, PMF directly to the body, there also, I mean, there's so many studies how red light and infrared light is beneficial for the body. So people will be requesting, oh, instead of blue light, I would like to use red light. I would like to have it like in different modes, so I can switch and choose what do I like for myself. Also, I want to have at nighttime, maybe using glow pad to imprint water. I don't want any light at all. It's not flashing, etc. So I want to have like infrared that time only. So it's in this way to make it a like user friendly, the people so they can get what they need plus have benefits.
But can you also use the red light to imprint water? It's
Yeah,
not just
yeah,
for
red light. I mean, yeah, pretty much why light even used because again, why light is just high frequency, like it's terahertz region of frequencies, and so device has coil. It emits magnetic waves in the low range, but we also modulate those light. So light is a carrier wave, which is modulated. And when it's water can interact with light, so it's another way of delivering. You can just use just coil like circuit pad. It also will
oh, as well.
get water imprinted, but take significantly like longer time. And with light, things like faster and more efficient
Is
for
there like
imprinting.
is the water more effective or is the PMF more effective? Or does
So
it depend
PMF,
on
so
what you're
far from what I
using?
see, PMF more effective for like application, like pain, things related from muscles, skeleton system, and many actually other things. Yeah, there's can pretty much find PMF for all different applications. In print ICs, people also like now more and more use them to apply directly to the body, and we also modify our player. So if you're like familiar with one by one mode and all at once mode, this will be changed to imprint into water and apply directly to the body. So it also will be like less confusing for people. Mhm. Because we had to explain like when do you need to use one by one, when do you need to use all at once mode.
Yeah,
Now you just choose whether you want to apply it to the body or whether they want to imprint water in this modes. Yeah, so both ways like working efficient. For now, we keep the same like suggestion. Imprint ICs best for water imprinting, but you can try them with direct body application, and PMF ICs best for direct body application, but you can also try to imprint them into water.
that's right.
Yeah. Also, important part here is convenience. Um, so, for example, we have water imprint in two methods. One, when you imprint regular water and drink it within a few days,
Mhm.
2 3 days, and you have 30-day methods. When you imprint
The
saline, you can use
concentrate.
it for 30 days. People ask which more effective. They're about the same efficiency. You need to choose whatever is more convenient for you. Many people like good, imprint, especially if you use few complexes, you imprint like few tinctures, like 2 3 4 tinctures, and then you just take them during the day. So you don't need to, carry with you all this like four
Then
different
you just take a
bottles.
couple of drops, right? And you
Yeah,
make this
yeah,
concentrated tincture by adding more salt, correct? To hold the
yeah,
charge
yeah,
further.
you have like 1 teaspoon per glass of water to make a saline. Then you
Yeah.
distribute it to little tinctures. Then you imprint on those tinctures. For me, it's more convenient to imprint just because I don't use like 10 different bottles or 10 different complexes.
Yeah.
Use your like 1 2 complexes a day. So I would just imprint in the morning 1 bottle or 2 bottles of water and drink those during the day. And next day, just have fresh water, imprint again.
Is there a
Yeah, so
limit to how many ICs you can imprint into a water?
now water doesn't have that limit. So we have people who use like, we actually, when I had like beginner project and doing 60 different, we had 60 different
Wow.
ICs, different pharmaceuticals. So we thought, okay, it doesn't have any negative effects. People, uh, person's body can just choose what they need. So why
Yeah.
don't we need to even ask ourselves, oh, what should I use? Let's just imprint 60 of them into water and let body choose. And it worked for some people, but for some people it seems to be overwhelming for the body, so it didn't have any effect at all. So then we slowly figured that we need to suggest people to use up to 6 ICs, imprint ICs into complex. So it's not about the water being able to store the signal; it's about the human body to able to process that information. Depends on the energy levels,
So it would
pretty
be
much
six. I'm sure
the
mine has
age,
about like
etc.
15 that I'm doing at once. So I'll
Yeah,
try to
yeah. Some people
reduce.
like have
And what about
hundreds.
for the body when you're applying it to the body? Is there a limit to that as well?
Yeah, when you apply this body, PMF, PMF ICs, or even print ICs as well.
Yes. For
Yeah, in
either
print ICs,
one.
for example, in print ICs also will be the same recommendation because it's not about the water
Mhm.
or
It's
who
about what you
limits
can
you. It's
absorb.
it's your body. So for imprint ICs also, we suggest to start in the best if you just started, just try using single imprint ICs. Then try complexes. Next step, try complexes up to 6 imprint ICs in one complex, use it for a week later, after you get more experience, try like larger complexes, add things to a complex. Yeah, you can create your own complexes, modify existing complexes, combine complexes, etc.
Yeah, those are very cool. I
Yeah.
love playing around with those. Now, my husband has a question he wanted me to ask you because
Mhm,
my husband has his own device. So, and I mean, this is a
mhm,
very skeptical man. And when he saw how it worked for his allergies, he's like, I need my own device. And we sit
mhm,
there in front of the TV. So our program is, we're watching TV and we've got it going, we've got the IC glow pad going on both of us. First of all, we wanted to know if there's a limit to how long you can leave it on your body. So, I mean, we run
mhm,
this program next, sometimes we have it on us for hours. Could that be a
mhm.
problem? Is there like a limit that we should
Yeah.
set?
Yeah, for example, for imprint ICs, I think we have like repeat button that allows you to, for
Yeah,
example, if it's 2 minutes, you can run it imprint in water for longer. It makes imprint stronger. If you
yes.
apply directly to the body, you can run like similar number of minutes, for example, like 10 minutes for imprint ICs. For PMF, our general recommendation is just don't add any repeats. Just run it one time, like 2 times a day, and 1 or 2 times a day, in the morning, in the evening, same PMFIC, and it's important to do it like every day. Some people who are more sensitive, they notice it's best for them to do it 4 or 5 days a week and do like 2 3 days break from
Oh, okay. We
any
haven't
like
taken a break
treatments.
in a year, so
Yeah,
maybe
or any treatments. Yeah, it depends. It's some people like more sensitive. for
Yeah.
example. They
So if somebody's
also would be,
sensitive to it, what kind of things could they experience if they're sensitive? What signs should they be
they
looking out
can like
for?
be like wake up too early in the morning, for example. They can
Oh,
be like
really?
over stimulated, yeah, or
Uh,
like wake up even may wake up like even in the middle of night
so maybe
and
it's
feel
not
awake.
best to use it in the evening. Maybe it's better to use it earlier during the day. Make a
Yeah, it
difference?
could be. Yeah, I mean, you have sleep ICs, which you can drink,
Yes.
and usually those things happen with overstimulation if somebody put like infinite number of repeats and just like
Mhm.
run it for a few hours like this. So that's what happens. It doesn't happen for everyone.
Yeah.
It's some people like, okay, I just noticing. I mean, there are all different types of people, different with different sensitivities. Some people don't even imprint for 2 minutes. You know, there's like a minimum recommended time. Some people
Yes.
imprint just for 30 seconds,
Mhm.
and that's already like the or I like start detoxing
Yeah, it's because it's
some my
like
body
you get a
my
good thing
body
and then you
working.
think, okay, if I do it much, much more, it's going to be even better, right? And sometimes less
Hmm.
is more. So
Yes,
what my husband
exactly.
wanted me to ask you, is it possible, like, okay, so we have these good frequencies that are helping the body. Now, this is why I was asking who is
Hmm.
uploading these ICs, because could it possibly happen that somebody uploads some kind of an IC that could actually harm people? I'm not saying
Hmm.
you guys, but could
Yeah,
there
yeah,
be
yeah. That's a
frequencies that
question.
somebody could put into someone's water, for example, like your
Yeah, yeah.
public water supply, that could
Hmm.
potentially
Yeah,
harm you?
yeah. Thankfully not. It's like not possible. And so, for example, even if you do like in vitro experiment with penicillin, with like yeasts, so usually actual penicillin should kill like yeast, reduce their activity. We did experiments with yeasts imprinted directly in the petri dish with penicillin printed with petri dish of yeast, and it didn't kill them. It's opposite. It helped them to like grow faster, produce more carbon dioxide, etc. So it's interesting. It's as information they got something good from thing that would kill them. Overall, like had this discussion also a long time ago in our team, we think it's possible to do like informational damage, like through the information, no signal do damage to the body, but it will be very difficult, maybe almost impossible. Um, Maybe it's somebody will find one way to develop. I mean, you have to like try so many things and do so very much expensive studies to do this. So they will like, I mean, there are other alternatives how you can harm humanity, and this is not the cheap one
Oh,
to
no,
develop
but I mean, they're
into.
doing all these frequencies, right, in the
Yeah.
air that are very harmful to us. So that's why I was wondering if it's
Hmm.
possible to
Yeah. So
also
there is
have.
like, but with if they imprint water with something, I
Interesting.
mean,
So the water is almost like this something that's
yeah,
alive
they can harm. Yeah, they
that
can harm water with
neutralizes
chemicals.
harmful
Yeah, with
chemicals.
chemicals. Yeah,
That's,
it's like will be easier for if they really need to harm. You choose your like tools, weapons, or something.
yeah,
Like this is would be not people most probably will get better from it, not get harmed.
that's
So
super
yeah,
interesting.
these methods I think will be out of table. Yeah, so we have like different practitioners who help us to create database. So they
Yeah,
have our tool and thing. We still do the last step of signal processing on our side. But even if somebody would create a thing from something that they say it's something different, first of all, if we know it will be harmful, we would never, create this kind of like model of people creating signals for us, etc. And second of all, if they create still signal, well, it would not do anything like
that's
harmful.
very interesting. And the other thing I wanted to ask you about is the
Hmm.
Bluetooth, because I mean, normally we don't use
Hmm.
Bluetooth at all. And then with this device, with the GlowPad, you are using
Hmm.
Bluetooth. Is the Bluetooth in this regard harmful because it's on your body?
Hmm.
Like, would it be the same as an AirPod or anything like
AirPods,
that?
yeah. Yeah. So, well, in the Glowpath, you can use it both ways with Bluetooth or just with audio cable.
Yeah.
So we used like before we developed this new model with Bluetooth. There were so many people. Yeah, we knew that not gonna like in general using Bluetooth. So yeah, we kept the audio cable option, but also we know there is a concern about you know being near the Bluetooth device, etc. So we use the Bluetooth module, which is like very it doesn't produce a lot of EMF at all. I made this video comparing emission from like Apple earbuds, other earbuds using EMF meter uh, compared to our device, the GlowPad. You can see the earbud, they go into like red region, become like red. Pretty much when you put our device working with Bluetooth on, there is like no increase whatsoever. It's actually even going tiny bit like lower. So there is no like detectable
So
emission
probably the
going from the
frequencies, the good
GlowPad.
frequencies that are coming through are kind of canceling out.
It's yeah, so it's pretty much well, I mean, maybe it's yeah, we're not like expecting that's going to happen. It could
Yeah.
be because of the how it's like geometry of the glow pie and how antenna is positioned. So it could be like reducing that part. Uh, so if you apply it directly to the body, so for example, the closest part would be to your antenna, which is like a spiral, and in some way it's like a cage, and Bluetooth module comes from other side. We measure from both sides EMF. It's pretty much undetectable, but also when you apply it towards your body, like antenna positioned from like outside of the body, so it can communicate with your phone. But between you and Bluetooth antenna, there's this coil, which probably also reduces EMF. But yeah, besides those things, from like our measurement and our intention to use this low intensity Bluetooth module, it's like undetectable pretty much compared to this kind of headphones.
Yeah, that's
This one
good to
goes
know
like
because that was a
the
concern. It's very convenient to use it like that, obviously, but
yeah,
that was a concern. Now, Anton, in closing, I do have a million other questions, but I promise not
no
to keep you
problem.
for
I'm
too
happy to
long.
talk.
But what I wanted to ask you, for example, what would you say to the skeptics? Like, for example, my son, anytime I come with any of my frequency devices, he's like, it's like the devil coming out. He doesn't believe in any of it. He doesn't want to hear any of it. And what would you say to someone that says, oh, this is just.
Mhm. Yeah, usually this is like important part, your like mindset. The best if you like at least like neutral when you start using it, because yeah, your skepticism, that's what also can affect the water in your imprinting, etc. This one of the theories. My theory is what happened like with Jacques Benveniste. He ran all these experiments in the lab showing how imprinted water can affect this cells. But when the skeptics came, so one guy who like big like scientific skeptic, and as a magician came, they invited for the commission to
Magician,
examine.
really?
Yeah, this Ramsey something. Yeah, they brought a magician who maybe gonna like see and maybe there's some illusion happening. No, they're creating some kind
No
of illusion.
way.
Yeah, so like presence of those people also could affect the results. Actually, when they first time did it, it still worked. They didn't find anything weird with the experiment. Things still worked. Then they decided to repeat this experiment. They maybe invited more people, I remember the same people, and then it didn't work. That time they oh, okay, see, it doesn't work. So kind of we retract a paper from Nature. Yeah, so yeah, this thing is possible. Yeah, when you have like positive mindset, you can like stimulate like placebo effect. When you have negative mindset, you can stimulate like think nocebo effect, something like this. And what I recommend to do for people this way, again, as like imprinted water is not harmful, you could like imprint water or something for your relatives. I was just thinking about this idea today, actually. I mean, because some like skeptics, yeah, they can affect water. Chacha used to have, you can imprint like, I don't know, the fish oil capsules, for example. And, so yeah, this is just your fish oil, you just need it. But also, it's also imprinted, you imprinted it, you give it to them, so they don't need to go through all this like explanations, etc. And, yeah, it works if you like live with them. It can be anything, can be imprinted water, imprinting something. It's just like a trick in a way for people to bypass this like shield, because like denial in the way is also like good thing people to have. You need to have uh, it's like defense mechanism for many things. Yeah, but yeah, if you want to help this person with imprinted water or imprinting something, that's what you can do. Like
The stickers all over them.
yeah, some like this. It's like some stories was some wife she had like a husband who had a hangover. He she didn't want to start explaining him what she's doing. She just imprinted like one bottle of water, and he got better pretty much, like very fast.
And he got
And she
better right
didn't,
away.
she didn't explain him what she was doing, etc. She knew
Wow,
like she helped him, and all was good.
that's very cool. So in closing, Anton, do you have any good stories to share?
Yeah, it's one of the stories that kind of always saying was happening like at about beginning of the project, and it's like inspired us, and it was pretty clear that it helped the person. This person, she had a thyroid issue for many years, and she was about 60 years old. She was taking the thyroxine for like since she was 20 years old. Sometimes she would miss dose, so she knows how it feel if she doesn't have her dose, etc. And then her practitioner suggested her using imprinted water, created the complex for her. She'll be start using additional methods, still using thyroid. I think then she might have to like reduce her dose. But what happened, she lives in a rural area, and one time her medication just finished, but she was still drinking imprinted water. And she noticed that she actually didn't need her like medication anymore. So
Yeah.
she just continued, yeah, after almost like 40 years of using like medication, and, have all this like dependency of like your thyroid not been working well. She just like continued drinking water. And
That's very, I have to
like
tell my
one
friend about
time,
that because she's the one that bought me my GlowPad originally. But now all my friends,
Mhm,
my family, everybody has one. So I mean, we're all using it, and she also has thyroid issues. So I will make sure that she listens to this and she tries that as well, because I'm sure it will work
mhm,
for her. And she's a great
yeah.
believer in this as well.
Yeah,
That's
there's like so
great.
many stories, and this is like what's really driving the whole project. So we developed community directly on the Infopathy website, where you can not only like ask questions or ask some technical questions, but you can also share your experiences. And we
Yeah.
have a whole this tab with experiences where people can, when they use MIC, they can provide experience how
Yeah,
they
I love
receive
that.
us
I
for them.
love leading them. And you're great also with answering questions and everything. I see that in the groups and also on the
Yeah,
website.
thank you.
And
Yeah,
the
we had
group
this.
on Facebook, there's a Facebook group. It's
Mhm,
Infopathy, it's called, right?
mhm.
And people
Yeah,
can
yeah.
find that and get more information. Do you need to purchase something before you can join the group, or anyone can
No, 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 no.
anyone
Anybody
can
can
join?
join.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
especially
One
for
day,
someone starting out, there's a lot of good information there to
yeah,
get started. Because it does feel
yeah.
a bit overwhelming in the beginning, but it's nice to know there's support and there are people out there that will
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah.
answer
We're
your
always, yeah.
questions.
It's like our priority. If somebody asks questions there on the website, send emails.
And
Yeah,
your
it's like,
website is infopathy.com, right?
mhm.
And they can
Yeah,
also
yeah.
find you on Instagram, Facebook. So all
Yeah,
this.
we help also help section, which we're like always improving. It
Mhm.
has the frequently asked questions, which is like a dynamic way to find a question. You can type some question there. We have about 300 different question answers there in database, and keep increasing it. Plus, we have webinar recordings,
I
also
love
can
those.
found on
Those are great.
InfoPath, yeah, on the help section.
Those are wonderful.
Yeah,
Those are very, very helpful. But
thank
I
you
will
very much.
link everything below this video so people can easily find you. Anton, thank you so much. That was
Thank you so
amazing.
much.
I
Thank
think we
you.
need to
It
sit
was
down
such a
and
pleasure to
chat
talk to you.
again because I still have a lot of questions for you, but we'll
For
keep that
sure,
for
yeah.
the next one. Thank you so much,
Sounds good.
Anton.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.